Buckle up for another episode of Ghostfacers, a supernatural rewatch podcast. My name is Richard, and sitting shotgun as always is my brother in podcasting, Reed. Oh my God, what are you eating?
Just 17 McRibs and
Oh God,
a dozen McChickens.
Holy shit!
Bunch of KFC Double Downs.
Oh my God, is Famine here?
No, I just hadn't eaten yet today.
Oh, let's get into it.
Ghostfacers! We're facing ghosts! We're others, we're not! We're ghosts! Ghostfacers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot! Ghostfacers! We're facing nightmare! We're facing dread! Ghostfacers! We're facing faceless! We're facing dead!
Welcome to Ghostfacers. Today we're discussing
I'm not ready.
5, episode 14. What are you waiting for? What do you need to do?
I have to get set up.
What do you need to do, though?
I have to set up the things I'm in charge of.
Not that quickly.
Yes.
I don't care. This episode aired February 11th. Surprisingly not 14th. I mean, yeah, I guess they're not going to change the day they aired, but
Yeah, it's not like a special. It just comes out on the day it comes out.
2010. Surprisingly not 2014. Crazy.
Around Valentine's 2010.
Yeah, were you being romantic to anyone at the time?
I was, yeah, with my, well, she wasn't my ex-fiance at the time.
I mean, she was.
Yeah, it was predestined. It was, let's see what the Lord says about determinism again. Yeah, I was in my last term of theater school.
Mm-hmm.
And
12 years ago.
Yeah. And she and I would have only just started dating.
I would have just started dating my rebound after my ex-fiance.
Oh, nice. Nice. Just two cool guys
No one loves.
talking about the relationships they failed.
Yep, yeah, that we tried too hard on and were never destined to exist.
I don't know if I could look at us now. I think it all worked out.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Baby.
We rule.
Yeah, we're infallible.
We won romance.
Yeah, I never made a mistake.
Not with a woman.
I mean, when you say it like that,
What?
it still leaves the door open for me to have made mistakes.
I don't know what you mean.
With men.
I mean, yeah, that's where all my best mistakes are made.
Ooh, my favorite mistake.
Yeah, let's make a few mistakes today.
Yeah, Sheryl Crow, baby.
This episode was written... What are we doing?
I don't know. It's early. It's not.
It's not. It's like a 10:15.
It's the normal time.
This episode was written by Ben Edlund, one of the best on the team.
Don't tell me what to think.
I'm just telling you my opinions out loud. You don't have to agree with them. I'm not saying, and we both think that this is the best. I'm saying that this is just one of the best. Are you done now? Are you prepared?
Now I am. Thank you for asking.
And it's something that I couldn't have just started without you having done it?
No. We're a team.
Yeah, I'm missing out on your amazing riff had you not been preparing for something.
Yeah, well, maybe I would have had something there if my focus wasn't split.
Yeah, that must have been it. It was directed by Mike Roll, viewed by an estimated 2.51 million viewers. That's up from last week. I think we were like 226 or something.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Nice. Little 2.5 action.
So glad you're prepared now.
Who's with me?
I'm so glad that you now are ready to record.
Yep.
Because without it, I wouldn't have gotten that gold.
You look at my phone and it says a little 2.5 action. That was
That's
like...
what you had been preparing for? I actually had already checked what the number was this week.
I pre-planned all my riffs.
All right. Well, with that, why don't we watch this week's promo?
All right.
I definitely didn't just play that right
I'm
now.
ready.
Are you ready? Are you sure? I don't really like how... Okay. We'll just watch.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
Oh, man. Getting that fucking somebody save me at the end there.
Every time. Works
Yeah,
really
baby.
well.
Yeah, actually, I mean, the rest of it's all right. Rogue Cupid. That's like a fun hook. It's coming out around Valentine's Day.
I love the early 2000s like electro like metal in the background. Like industrial like
yeah. Yeah, which is funny because this is 2010.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's TV. It's going to be a little bit behind. But.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that promo is mostly boring. It's fine. It's not egregious the way some other ones are. Because this episode does do a weird hook where it's like, oh, it's going to be a funny episode, a rogue Cupid, and then you go like, oh no, oh no.
Yeah, it's a real roller coaster of an episode.
It is. It's a little odd, but
not really communicating
not necessarily in a bad way. So all that considered, that promo probably picked the most interesting hook.
Yeah, for sure.
A bunch of people like eating and shooting and stuff, and then it's like there's a rogue Cupid, and you go like, okay, well, that I can imagine what this episode is.
Yeah. I still would have loved to see like the hug moment
but I think you can't because then you know.
Sure, yeah.
That's not the monster. I
guess, yeah.
All
right, well, we've got no international titles this week.
What?
Everybody got it. It's all Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine just translated across the board. There's no like, eat your heart for me.
No, surprisingly.
Whatever accent that was.
I'm not sure.
Estonian.
Keep it vague and it's not offensive.
Yeah. What's vaguer than an Estonian? I ask you.
I mean, now you're offensive.
There's gonna be like 3 people in Angel Radio who are like, I'm Estonian. I'm like, damn it.
Very accurate accent, though.
Yeah, actually nailed the accent.
Yeah, great. We are very vague, too.
Extremely vague. That's our anthem.
Yeah.
The Estonian anthem doesn't have words. Everyone just kind of goes like,
it's weirdly the same song that they had on Justice League, when I think when Jason Momoa comes out of the water.
The 4-minute Icelandic hymn. That sounds like they're fucking burying Theoden's son.
Yeah. What a fucking moment. All right. Well, there's also no featured music for this week.
Well, looks like you had to do a lot of work for this episode.
Other work was done. TV Guide describes this episode as...
No, do you know what? It doesn't.
Yeah, TV Guide never described it.
Yeah. TV Guide just said, like, watch it yourself, you fucking cock. You're watching a Valentine's episode instead of being with someone who loves you.
Yeah. Bitch.
You don't deserve a synopsis.
Oh, no. Well, if they did, they might have gone a little something like this.
Sure.
Lovers start killing each other on Valentine's Day, and Sam and Dean believe Cupid is responsible, so they attempt to track him down.
Missed opportunity to use Lovers in a Dangerous Time.
Lovers in a Dangerous Time.
What voice was that?
One of many in that band.
I guess. Were you trying to be like the bassist you can't hear?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Did I nail it?
I mean, possibly. We've never heard him.
I think we both know.
But I can't remember his name. He was the guy that got cancer. We're talking about the Bare Naked Ladies. We're a Canadian podcast.
Yeah, obviously. Who else are we talking about?
True.
So yeah, that's the TV Guide description. And with that, before we get into today's
episode over.
Yeah, we also there was no notes for today. Bye. No notes, no thoughts. I think we're done here.
An oops, no segments episode.
Oops, no episode. No. Why don't we open up Dad's journal and learn about some of the real world lore about Cupid?
Let's see what the lore says about Famine.
Really?
Baby.
Whoa.
Technically, this is the only episode in which Cupid appears, I believe.
But you're going to ham fist him in somewhere else?
But Cupid comes up. Again later.
Oh, okay, all right.
But Famine doesn't really. Well, I mean, they like a couple of offhand mentions, but not in
spoilers.
A significant way. So, yeah, spoilers. We did it. We beat Famine.
I mean, you've been trying for a long time.
Yeah, I'm really the poster boy for Famine.
Well, I'm trying to beat it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah.
So, Famine is the third of the 4 horsemen depicted riding a black horse and holding scales. So this quote comes from Revelation. When he broke the third seal, I heard the third living creature saying, "Come."
I had been edging for weeks, and I had broken the third seal.
I had eaten a bunch of pineapple that week.
Yeah.
No. I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard something like a voice in the center of the four living creatures saying, "A quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, but do not damage the oil and the wine."
And then I was like...
So there's no explicit use.
It sounds like somebody describing like their dreams. I'm just like, and then like he said this.
Then there was this voice, and he told me how much wheat cost.
Yeah, he was like this many denarius, but then he's also like this many denarius, and he was like, but like we were at home, but it like wasn't my home.
Yeah, it didn't damage the oil or the wine. So there's no explicit use of the word famine in the description of this horseman.
Yo, famine.
Jesus. But the carrying of scales is meant to evoke like the rationing of food, which would happen in a time of famine. So the talk of the cost of food references a denarius, which is a unit of currency from ancient Rome. Mm-hmm. It was roughly equivalent to what a soldier would make in a day, or what like a farmhand would make in a day. At the end of a day's work, you'd make a denarius.
Oh, okay.
So he's saying that like one thing of wheat would cost a full day's work.
Oh, wow.
So, and barley, you could get 3 for a denarius, but barley, as I read, is less nutritious than wheat.
Oh, okay.
It means that this passage, in a way, is about inflation, rising cost of food, and the inability of people to pay to feed their families. And then I wrote, "We may be in the apocalypse by this metric." But there's also the suggestion that oil and wine prices wouldn't rise, meaning that luxuries for the wealthy remain within their reach, while necessaries for the poor are harder to come by. And so this notion of like a wealth divide and a sort of class warfare kind of thing supports an alternate reading of the third horseman, which instead of being strictly famine would be that the third horseman symbolizes like imperial oppression. So this was proposed by an English priest named Edward Bishop Eliot, who wrote a lot about the Bible. There's also another English thinker whose name I can't remember, who kind of went this way, that basically interpreted, if you remember when we talked about Revelations in general, there's a few different readings of it, and one of them is that it's like all allegorical to things that caused the downfall of the Roman Empire.
Sure.
There's one philosophy of reading Revelations as being basically about the fall of Rome. And in this one, it's possible that they're talking about like the sort of economic ruin of Rome, which was inflation on like necessary items, but keeping the price of luxury goods fixed so that the wealthy could. There's a thing in late Rome where emperors would take from the coffers of different like territories. They would order governors or whatever the structure was to send that coin and stuff to Rome for the emperors, which meant that whoever was in charge of those districts or regions then didn't have the money to do the things they were supposed to do.
Oh, okay.
So it was like literally like stealing Peter to pay Paul sort of scenario, except Paul is the emperor and already had everything. And it was part of the instability of the Roman Empire was that. So there is a reading of the third horseman that is about like imperial oppression, that's about the wage gap. If that all sounds really similar, that's basically like exactly the world we live in now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's funny though. I mean, with all of these horsemen, there's actually not necessarily a ton written about them. The famine one is interesting because there's a pretty clear description of what famine looks like, but not even necessarily that it is famine. Because nothing in the Bible says famine rides into town and people start wasting away or whatever. But it is kind of like, and no more, like it's too expensive to buy food. It's not even saying there is no food. It's just saying you can't afford it.
Oh.
Which is kind of interesting. I think part of the reading of it is that because famine comes after war, in terms of the Horsemen, that like these sort of things and rationing of food and famine that often in real life follows war.
Sure.
So that's maybe partly the order of it, but I do find it interesting that it's not like crops dying or stuff like that. That's not what this Horseman brings. This Horseman just brings like economic disparity.
Huh.
Which is sort of interesting.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, that is unclear.
Don't know. I think I did a pretty good job.
No. I mean, not your ability to do that.
Well, don't we all feel great?
Whatever. Your daughter's my best friend. That was so funny.
I was hanging out.
Yeah.
You were like, you're my best friend. I was, guess I'm not sitting at this table.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll just leave. Also, your daughter's like, the feeling is not mutual.
Well, I mean, that changes with the wind.
Yes, that's true.
She's 4.
It's fine. And yet still...
She also doesn't understand that there's a difference between friends and best friends.
Oh, sure.
So anytime someone's a friend, she goes, they're my best friend.
Oh, sure.
And goes, well, that's very nice, but like, who do you like more?
She also beat me at golf, so...
Yeah, I mean, you made it pretty easy. You were pretty bad. We played mini putt. It wasn't even real golf. You're better at real golf.
I was using a trick club.
You were like some of these mini putt holes. They're like, this is like an 8-foot sort of wooden thing that you got to hit the ball through or whatever, and it would take you 7 shots. I've seen you finish a real par 4 in 6 shots. So it's like very funny to me how much of a struggle mini putt was.
That it was because the club I was using, it was too long and it had a hinge at the bottom.
Yeah, it must. That's definitely it.
Fuck you. Let's get into the episode.
I don't know. We can talk more about this.
No, I'm fine. It's fine. I shouldn't have brought it up. All right. Let's get into my Bloody Valentine with the then.
Well, let's do it.
4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse is the first thing that we get in the then.
Baby.
Yeah, because that's what we're starting with. We already got a bit of war.
Yeah.
What is he good for? A pretty cool car.
I mean, not much. They cut off his fingers pretty easy.
Yeah. We get some discussion about Sam and Dean's purpose and saving the world.
Yes.
We get into the now. In a small town, Russell and Alice are finishing their date. They have a good time. They've had a good time, and Russell asks her on another date on Valentine's Day.
Aren't they the cutest,
so
too?
Cute.
He's like, I don't want to be alone on Valentine's Day. She's like, I know what you mean. He's like, first date. Like, they're being all awkward. Like, am I going to invite a man? Is she, like...
I don't know if they were even having that conversation.
Well, no. They're not having... But, like, that's the tension between them. They're sort of standing at her place, and she's like, well... And he's like, huh? And he's like, first date. She's like, I know.
I've never asked to go in. I've always been like, cool.
I've always just been invited up. That's what you were going to say.
That's not
you cocky son of a bitch.
That's not what I was.
That is 100% what you were going to say, and you caught yourself. I saw it happen. Don't tell me it didn't happen. I saw it happen.
Sometimes things just work out. I don't know.
Yes, I have been invited in. That's a very exciting moment.
I mean, your kind can only be invited in.
What do you mean, your kind?
I think we
Estonians?
Both. Yeah. I mean, that's another way to say it.
Grave Navarro.
Oh my God. The couple kiss tentatively at first, and then get into it.
Yeah, then they kiss more. Yeah, they go into her place. They're like making.
Well, before even that happens, she takes a bite.
Not outside.
Yeah. There's a tiny little one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he gets like a little on his neck.
That's inside.
No, I think it happens a little bit outside first. There's like a little bite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little baby bite. And then suddenly they're fucking
fine. But then they go inside and they're like making out. And that there is a line that I enjoy where she's her shirt's coming off and stuff like that. And then he goes, "I respect you so hard right now." And
this is us.
That's a very funny line.
That is also very much us.
What do you mean?
Having
when
sex
we
with
make
women.
out?
Yes. No, I'm what?
What?
I feel like that's us, like,
Yeah, I mean, that is the only kind of energy I can bring to the bedroom is like a little bit irreverent.
and a little bit simp.
I mean, yeah, a little, sure. Yeah.
But yes, so she ends up biting him, panics a little bit, and then
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh no, that's fine." And then they start really biting, and it's like chunks start kind of. She like pulls a bit of his skin out of her teeth and stuff, and my wife was like, "Oh no."
and you were like, yeah, this is bad.
I was like, yeah, no, I'm not into that either.
I'm very surprised that your phone's not out yet.
You'll never know.
But yeah, it's a hard moment to kind of watch.
I mean, I will say this episode actually in general does a very good job of this, both on the effects side and just the like the feeling it's conveying. It's extremely tense and extremely uncomfortable. Like these people are like just like literally ripping each other apart, and it's very. My wife was like, "Are they demons?" I was like, "No." She's like, "The ghosts," and I was like, "No." She's like, "Monsters?" I was like, "No." She's like, "Why are they doing this?" And I was like, "That's why we're watching the episode is to find out."
Oh my god, she's so hooked.
Oh, she's in.
Oh my god. Oh, it's coming. Yeah, and they literally just the camera drops and you see blood splurt. Like it's
wild.
Yeah, and the theoretically they ate each other. And they ate each other out.
Oh, they ate each other in.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not theoretical because like in the next scene when we kind of like are at the crime scene the next day, that's or sorry, maybe 2 scenes from now, we're told explicitly that their stomachs were full of each other.
Yeah,
which is such a gross image.
Yeah, really, really hard to think about.
Yeah.
No, the next one is Sam arrives to investigate, and Alice's roommate says that she found them almost dead, but Russell was still chewing.
So this roommate is like packing up her stuff.
Yeah.
But also like the cops and the paramedics and that have been and gone. Like there's a sort of like botched mop job on the blood stain on the floor, and this person's like, she was like so sweet. She was like, she had a promise ring. She was like, and Sam's like, oh, so
there was a moment where the roommate's like, I have no idea how she was like didn't like fuck dudes like
she's like, I don't know how she was saving herself till marriage. Me, I fuck all the time.
Wink. Which I'm like, hell yeah, get it.
Yeah, I mean, that's not Sam's way.
No, it's not. Yeah.
I mean, in this episode, it's not even Dean's way.
We'll get into it. But yeah, so she even had a promise ring. It was Alice's first date in months, and she was so excited.
Yeah.
Sam.
But the idea that they just like literally ate each other to death.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's a hard image.
I mean, I guess you could say it was absolute 69. A joke from a different podcast.
Yes. Sam returns to the hotel, the motel, and tells
Holiday
Dean. Thank you.
Yeah.
And tells Dean that there are no signs of ghosts or possessions at Alice's place.
Yeah, and this is like
and Dean's like, are they monsters? Are they demons?
Yeah, well, this is where Dean says that he was at the coroner's.
Yeah.
And he was like, they were like full of each other. And that's pretty gross. Sam comes in, he's eating a burger and he's got a drink, and Dean's just kind of chilling. But he's like, it was gross as hell. We got to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, no bueno. Yeah. Dean has come back from the coroner and explains that both the victims had a Thanksgiving dinner full stomachs.
Ugh.
Yep. Sam says that he will close out their workday, and and tells Dean that he can head out to celebrate Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah. Sam's like, I'll work here. You can go do your thing. And Dean's like, what? And he's like, it's Valentine's Day. Didn't you call it like
unattached drifter Christmas?
Unattached drifter Christmas. Yeah. Which I love. And he's like, you're. And Dean's like, nah, we got a job to do. And Sam's like, it's when a dog doesn't eat that you know something's wrong.
Which is the thing about like Dean we've talked about. In general.
Yeah. and Dean says like pretty condescending,
Yep.
but noted. But Sam is like, wait, you're saying you're not interested in a bunch of lonely women at the bar on Valentine's Day? And Dean's like, yeah, not today. I'm all right.
My God. And
Is he gonna be okay?
And they both
Dean.
I know. Get it, Dean.
This is like the parent in me. It's like if my kid like turns down fruit snacks, I'm like, oh, she's really not feeling well.
Wow.
That's how I felt about Dean here. I was like, oh, he's not even trying to get pussy.
Doesn't want the Chacos. It's very funny. But yeah, he insists that everything's okay, and they both go back to work.
Yeah.
At an office now,
Yes.
we see Jim and Brad working late. Two pieces of shit.
Yeah. He's like, we need these numbers for the client or whatever vague business dialogue they have.
And Jim is just like on his phone, and Brad keeps being like,
He's like, you just met this bitch. You're
Yeah.
whipped. You little
"Whoopah!"
You little yeah, the Chandler. It's funny because that Friends scene has ruined that sound for me. Because
Yes.
I was ready for him to go whoopah
Yes.
instead of
Yes.
But yeah, he's like, you only like met her like a week ago. You're whipped, you little beta cuck. This guy's like, no, I'm just want her to know that I'm fine, or whatever.
Yeah, in that moment, like I've had dudes say that about me before.
That you're whipped.
Yeah.
He's like, what? Just like fundamental respect of like, I'm out.
Right?
I'll be
Yeah.
back later.
Yeah. And I'm also just like, yeah, it's great.
You also, yeah, I would love to be under the whip.
Yeah. You mean controlled by a woman? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
idiots.
sign me up, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. You don't know what you're missing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not alone by like you.
Yeah.
I always love that's my favorite thing where conservatives have that thing where it's like this is the version of the future that liberals want, and it's always like women with like leather and whips.
It's like,
And
God,
dudes
I hope so.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Tell me what party is promising that they have my vote.
yes, that's
Yes.
exactly the future.
I will help build the pyramids
Yes.
of this era.
Yes,
If that's the
1000%. But suddenly, Janice shows up.
Yeah.
Because this piece of shit pulls away the dude's phone, and he's just like,
Yeah.
no,
she shows up. She's in like a red dress. She's like, you didn't answer your phone.
you didn't show up.
You weren't there.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's okay, baby. Blah, blah, blah. And
He's like, I just had to work. And she's
and
like, you
she's
never
like-
choose
she's
work
like-
over me.
Yeah. And the guy is sitting at the... Okay, we got to talk about this moment.
I love this moment.
Guy's sitting at the desk.
Yeah.
She's like, you always, you're choosing work over me or whatever she says. She pulls out a gun and shoots the guy.
I love that
But
moment.
here's the bit I wanted to talk about. I feel like they kind of messed up the shot or something, and they just
Okay.
had to deal with it in editing.
Yeah.
Because she shoots, there's a weird kind of cut that where you don't even see all of his head, and he's sitting, and then he just goes like, whoa, and just kind of like the chair just tilts back. Like on a show where the stunts and effects are actually usually very good, it was like a weird, I was like, what happened here?
Yeah.
It looks like they accidentally used like B-roll or something of him like practicing falling over.
Yeah.
I don't know. It stood out to me, and I was like, that's funny and weird.
I never really caught that, but yeah.
And then it's funny too because in a couple of seconds they cut back to his body like twitching, but you only see like the leg up
It's
because
just
the
the
chair's
foot, yeah.
knocked over. It's very funny.
I love the way that she's just like, shut the fuck. Like, she doesn't even look at him. She
Yeah,
just,
it's a no look. It's a Steph Curry shot.
hell yeah.
And then like this guy whose name I don't remember is like, there's
Brad,
there's all these things that are getting in the way. Work,
Or
sleep,
Jim, yeah.
work, sleep. I think I know a way for us
Our
to be
friends and
together
family,
forever. And then she kind of starts pointing the gun at her. Cut to outside. We see a gunshot and then another gunshot.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that they would do the thing where they like hug or something and they do the one shot through both. Like, we'll be together. Like I was kind of hoping for that, but she kills herself and then he kills himself.
Yeah. It's a bit of a risky move to try to go through both heads.
Coward.
You never want to take any risks.
I never want to do anything I want to do. That's how we're going to end this podcast.
Hell yeah. But yeah, they shoot themselves. We then cut to Sam and Dean going to the hospitals to check out the bodies. In the hallway, they pass a tall, balding man in a black suit carrying a briefcase. And Sam very obviously senses something's wrong about him.
Yeah.
Dean doesn't really notice the man, but notices Sam's distressed and asks if he's okay. Sam unconvincingly claims he's fine.
Yeah.
They then meet with the coroner, Dr. Corman.
I like this guy. I recognize this actor, too, but I can't tell you from where.
Yeah,
he
I'm
must
not sure.
just be like
One of those guys.
on TV,
Yeah.
But I definitely recognize him.
He leaves them alone to conduct the investigation. He's very much just like, yeah, make sure you close the fridge.
I wonder how casual, like how real is that? Because this guy's like, hey, I already took out all of the goodies. It's in the fridge. Here, lock up when you're done. Just tosses the keys, and he's like, remember, refrigerate after opening.
Well, it did seem like they had been to him before.
Well, Dean had, because he was there to see the people that ate each other. Because the guy recognizes him and goes, oh, you can't get enough or whatever. But if you're the medical examiner of a jurisdiction, I understand that the FBI, if this is what we're believing happens, the FBI comes in and goes, it's part of our case. We need to see it. But, like, do you not need the medical examiner present? Because they just start going through stuff and they're looking at it. And, like, just because you're an FBI investigator doesn't mean you know how to handle organs. Like, what if they damaged that evidence? Shouldn't
it's
the
not something
Emmy
you're taught in FBI
shouldn't
school.
the Emmy be there?
Probably.
Yeah.
But this guy's also like,
I mean, I know it's supposed to be some sort of like podunk small town or something, but it's also like, I don't know, something about it is like, this happens a lot in Supernatural where they're just like, yeah, we just got carte blanche access to the corpse.
I think that also, like, I mean,
because in other cop shows, the Emmy's always there.
Yeah.
Person comes in and goes like, what do we got? And then
Yeah.
they walk them through it or whatever. But like, yeah, this guy's just like, it's 6 o'clock. I'm done. You guys can lock up.
I mean, that is realistic. That like,
I bet it happens, but my question is, should it?
oh,
Like, I'm positive in some towns this happens, but I guess, is anyone out there, any of you doctors who are listening, are any of you, like, familiar with how it works for, like, medical examiners and stuff like that?
yeah.
Like, would they not be required to be there, at least in a supervisory capacity?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I do love how casual this guy is, though.
Crazy casual.
Yeah, like,
Yeah. He's like, I got better shit to do. Yeah.
like, yeah,
He, like, puts on a hat.
he's got a
like,
cool hat.
He's got
Yeah,
a cool-ass hat. He's a fedora.
that's not even a fedora. That's a whole other different type.
No, it's not. I also didn't say fedora.
Oh, that's true.
Fedora.
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
Yeah, the hat that spikes your own drink.
Tonight I'm gonna have a great night. I think. Anyways, they check over the organs, and Sam notices that the victims' hearts have identical markings.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh shit, I think it's Enochian."
Yeah. And Dean's like on our ribs.
Yeah.
And he's like, and so he immediately calls Castiel.
Yeah, I like this. Dean like has to give the address, right? Because they still have the Enochian.
Yeah,
stuff,
and
so
he has
Cass
to see
can't
like
find them.
second floor, like
and
room.
then Cass is just there, and he's like, "I'm here," and
standing in front of
Dean,
Dean.
and Dean's like, "I know." And he goes,
You can even hear the echoing on the phones, which I find is a really nice touch.
"I'm gonna hang up now."
Yeah. I love the echoing because
Yeah.
I'm like, they didn't need to put that in, but it's absolutely what would
It's
happen.
very cute. Yeah.
I love it. He confirms that the marks are angelic and represents a destined union.
Yeah, and then he says, "Your people call them Cupid."
Yeah.
But they're actually
you mean your people?
yeah, but they're a lower order of angels. He calls them
cherub.
Cherub third class.
Yes. It's just like, very low tier angel.
Yeah.
Castiel figures that it's gone rogue and declares that they have to kill it before it kills again.
Yeah.
The trio then goes to a singles bar and orders food. Castiel
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
What does that mean, a singles bar?
Well, it's probably like in bigger towns and stuff like that, they've had singles bars.
But how do they check that?
I mean, they
at
don't,
the door?
but the idea
So it's
is
just a bar.
Yes, but the theme is come here to like meet somebody. Like it's let's not go down this road. You're always proven wrong every time.
I don't think that. I think I'm going to be vindicated like I was with the brothel thing.
We all the thing you were like very fervently like completely disproved. That thing where everyone is just like, look, I agree with reading a lot of stuff. I like everything he does, but he's so fucking wrong on this. This is another one of those moments.
That doesn't sound like what happened.
Anyways, they order food. Castiel explains that Cupid will be drawn there by human reproductive urges.
Yes.
As he stares at a hamburger Dean ordered.
Yeah. Yeah, Dean gets a hamburger. He squirts a ton of ketchup on it.
It's gross.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Dean has to put 2 fingers in the ketchup bottle.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Are you proud of what you just did?
No, that was such a Richard moment. It was a thought in my head and I just said it.
Yeah, he looked at the ketchup and wow, this one's a squirter. Jesus Christ.
I'm so sorry, everybody.
I respect you so much, ketchup.
I respect you so hard right now.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
You're supposed to be the good one.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Dean goes to take a bite, but then suddenly decides that he's not hungry after all. Sam expresses disbelief.
Yeah.
Castiel then reaches over and takes Dean's plate.
Well, yeah, Cass goes like, so does that mean you're not going to eat that?
Yeah. A thing that he says looking at Sam. And yeah, Dean says he's not going to eat, and the boys look at Castiel with shock on their faces. So,
yeah.
Castiel doesn't actually eat anything because he doesn't get a chance. So he picks it up and then realizes that, oh, the Cupid's here.
Yeah, and then he's like, we got to move. And then he kind of does his like angel vanish thing. And the boys have to get up to go. He's like, meet me out back or whatever he says.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Angel vanish.
He's like, the urge has got me. Meet me out in the alley.
Yeah, your urge for meat.
A thing you could never have understood more.
I mean, listen.
We'll get into it. We'll get there.
Raw meat looks tasty. Would I eat it all the time? No. Or sometime? No. But it looks
tasty. Is it because
tasty.
it's taboo?
It's not. You can get tartare.
Yeah, when it's prepared for that, yes.
Yeah, when it's prepared for that.
Yeah, just you eating ground beef, it's called tartare.
Tartare is a Michelin star meal. It's me shoveling raw beef out of a tray.
They then go out and Castiel, seemingly facing empty air, tells them that he has the cherub tethered.
Yeah.
And mutters an incantation to make it appear.
Reveal yourself.
Oh my God. Yes, sir.
And that's when he revealed himself, Your Honor.
A naked Cupid suddenly appears behind Dean and hugs him.
Yeah. He's like, hey! He's like so friendly in that. He gives all of them these big hugs. And then Cass is like, this is their handshake. And he goes, I don't like it. He goes, nobody likes it.
Yeah.
It's a really good little moment.
I like the idea that all of the angels are also just like,
these fucking Cupids.
Yeah, stop fucking hugging me.
Like, well, I mean, we already know angels have a lot of disdain and they're very sort of elitist in that. It's a fun little in-joke that they're like, I know they're technically like angels too, but
very
like,
low class.
These fucking cherubs.
Yes, I love that. Once Cupid has settled down, he asks what they want. Castiel and Dean accuse him of making his targets murder each other and demand to know why he's doing it.
And he's like, what? No, I'm just...
He bursts into tears.
Yeah.
Which I find very, very enjoyable.
He's like, I just love love. I don't want anything to...
And Castiel ends up trying to apologize at Sam and Dean's urgings.
Yeah. And then it sort of comes out that he's like, I was just following orders. I was just making people fall in love the way I'm supposed to. And then Dean's like, orders? He's like, yeah, from heaven. Like, and he's like,
read my mind.
He's like, not everyone, it's not always like something big and important, but like your parents, that was important. They hated each other, but when we were done with them, woo, best couple ever. Hey, how are they doing, by the way?
Yeah, and Dean's like, they're both dead, and Cupid apologizes as he says the orders.
He's like, but it was important that they got together so you two would be born.
Exactly.
All this fucking destiny things to weigh on them,
Yeah. When he gleefully declares that they were the perfect couple when heaven was done with them, Dean anger boils over and he punches him.
Yeah, and then the Cupid disappears.
Because it also didn't do anything to the Cupid.
Yeah. Because like it's sort of like, when like Batman punches Superman or something, he's like, I knew that wasn't a good idea. Shit. And yeah, Cass goes, I believe you offended him, or whatever he says.
He's just, and Sam's just like, why would you punch a chair? He's like, I punched a dick. Exasperated, Sam asks if they're going to discuss what his problem has been lately, but Dean refuses and storms away.
He says, are we going to talk about this or not? And Dean goes, or not.
Yeah. Dr. Corman then calls Sam to the morgue to alert him of another bizarre death.
Yeah.
Lester Finch, a weight loss surgery patient who formerly weighed 400 pounds.
Yeah, and then he got one of those like bands, and then he ate so many Twinkies that he burst the band and then burst his stomach.
Yes.
And then when there was no more room in his stomach, he was ramrodding Twinkies down his throat with a toilet brush.
Oh.
Which made me think, like, the guy has nothing else in his house. He could, like,
The toilet brush was the best option?
That's what I mean. Like, even if I were possessed by the insatiable hunger or something.
What a weird thought that is.
If we could imagine that. Like, there's wooden spoons. There's, like, stuff in the kitchen. He's like, I better go get the toilet brush to jam this thing down.
I mean, I guess he doesn't respect himself.
Yeah, not like me.
Yeah.
I would use a spoon.
Yeah.
To jam the Twinkies down.
Because I respect myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
pretty fucked up.
Dr. Corman, apparently finally affected by this latest suicide, pulls out a flask from his lab coat and gulps as Sam looks on.
Yeah.
Outside, Sam calls Dean and tells him that Finch didn't bear the mark of the Union as the others did.
Yeah. He didn't have the Enochian on his heart. So it's like, this isn't
about
it's not
about
even
Cupid
tied
related
to the Cupid thing.
No.
So it's we've mostly ruled out Cupid as a suspect, but now it's not even like someone fucking with Cupid's work. It's bigger than that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dean has checked the police blotter and has confirmed that there have been 8 suicides and 19 ODs in the last few days.
Crazy. He says like way above the season average. Or
sure,
whatever.
yeah. They realize there's something more going on than just love. Sam appears to feel a sudden headache just before he sees the bald man in a suit again that he and Dean had passed in the hall earlier, exiting the hospital. Sam is visibly disturbed by his presence, as he was the first time that he saw them. He follows the man into the alleyway, jumps him, and pins him up against the wall.
Yeah, and he kind of slices him with a knife, and it burns, and he's like, I know what you are. The guy's clearly a demon. And
so fucking hot.
Oh, easy.
What?
They fight. He cuts him a couple more times, but the demon gets away, but leaves the briefcase. And Sam, like, looks at the knife, and it's got blood on it, and he's like...
Yeah, he just stands and watches as the demon runs away.
Yeah.
He stares at the bloody knife and wipes the blood off, but he knows what he wants.
Oh, yeah.
Sam takes the briefcase to the motel, and he and Dean
where they reenact that scene from Pulp Fiction.
It's literally what they were doing.
Yeah.
Most people theorize that the glowing object in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction is Marcellus Wallace's soul.
Wait, really?
Yeah. That's a big theory.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a weird reading of that, I think.
I'm just telling you. They're surprised to see that Castiel is eating voraciously from a snack from the Big Frank's Burger Hut.
Yes, yeah.
The angel explains that his hunger is a clue that the entire town is not suffering from love gone wrong, but from starvation, specifically famine.
Yeah.
As in the Horsemen.
That's right. Yeah, Cass talks about how Jimmy, his host, loves meat and obviously hasn't had it in a very long time. It's
a weird thing because Jimmy's not in there.
Oh, this is what I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
We're slightly talking out of school because this is stuff that comes up in later seasons.
Yeah.
But there is a thing in Supernatural. I'll try and avoid spoilers as much as possible.
Yeah.
But it's like once a host body is
annihilated,
destroyed, even if like
the body's brought back,
a body is reconstructed or brought back, the soul is gone.
Yeah.
It's moved on or it's destroyed or whatever has happened to it. It's moved on. This is a story point in Supernatural. It comes up again. Cass was exploded by an archangel, by Raphael, when he was trying to, when he was with Chuck at the end of last season. And then was brought back, he believes, by God. So the idea that Jimmy has anything to do with this is maybe just an indication that they hadn't fully figured out how some of these pieces work yet.
Yeah.
About hosts and souls and stuff like that. Because we have a much clearer depiction of that in future seasons, and it's interesting to get in here and be like, oh, that's 100%
just
not
mistake.
what would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
Sam says that he thought famine meant starvation from food, but Castiel points out that famine can apply not just to food, but also to love, drugs, attention, or anything that people hunger for, making them rabid for it.
Yes, yeah.
Sam takes on a worrisome look. Dean doesn't understand why Cass is affected, since when did angels eat? He admits about Jimmy.
Yeah.
And then Castiel takes on a revelatory sort of tone and says, and then will come famine, riding the black steed, as we sort of already said. He will ride into the land of plenty, and great will be the horseman's hunger, for he is hunger. His hunger will seep out and poison the air.
Yeah, and that is like not a
the
Bible verse.
Yeah, at least not like the iterated version that we had read.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe there is a version.
Maybe?
Or like a retelling.
Yeah, the Snyder cut.
Yeah. As Castiel
of the Bible.
Yes.
Yeah, like that needs to be longer.
Yeah, it needs to be more like austere and longer.
Yeah, there's that really long sequence of where people are with the pillars of salt in Sodom and Gomorrah, but it's all in slow motion, and Nick Cave is playing in the background.
Yeah, Jesus is walking across water, and they're like, oh,
yeah. Well, yeah, Jesus is trying to get a job as a dog walker, but then he sees that there's some water that hasn't been turned into wine. He's got to run out and turn that water into wine.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh, shit, there's not enough fish. And
There is 100%, like, they make those, like, Christian versions of, like, popular movies. That's definitely...
Well, I sent you that picture the one time, the thing I saw in the Walmart bin.
Yeah.
Where it said, oh, what the fuck was it called? It was called, like, AD After Death. And then it said, from the producers of the Bible. And I sent you a text that was like, so God?
Yes. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. As Castiel speaks about this, a black Cadillac Escalade pulls up to a Biggerson's restaurant. A second vehicle follows.
Have we seen a Biggerson's yet?
Yeah,
or is this the?
Yeah. They were at a Biggerson's with what's her name? With Lucky Foot.
Oh right, yes, yeah. Bella, yeah.
Yeah, Bella. Bella. That fucking episode. Anyways,
ciao, Bella. Oh, we should have said that in that episode.
Oh, we're fucking idiots.
Damn it.
We're bad at this. Now.
Nice.
A second vehicle follows, and a black-suited team emerges and removes an elderly man from the vehicle, places him in a motorized wheelchair, secures an oxygen supply to him, and escorts him inside.
I really like this design.
Yeah.
Like this, like the approach to famine.
I do too.
Because he is hunger.
Yeah.
He himself is amazing. It's not the opposite where he's like this big hedonist
ghost of Christmas present.
Yeah, but it's like he is hunger.
Yeah.
So he is also this kind of like weak, emaciated kind of like, I love it.
Once he enters, the patrons inside begin gorging themselves on food, stealing money, eating drugs, heavy petting.
This is another good effects moment. There's a cook
I
that,
hate this.
Puts his hands in the deep fryer, fries out. He's eating that, and his hands are like melting and goopy and like boils. And
I was working in restaurants when this episode came out, and so it was so hard to watch.
I mean, it 100% is. It's gross as shit, but like it really works.
Yes.
I think it's been a few episodes since we've had like a genuine
like gross out moment,
kind of horror piece like that, because first season there was I think a bit more of that.
Yeah.
It's probably been since we saw Joe get attacked.
Oh sure, yeah.
By the Hellhound that we've had like one of these really like upsetting physical violence
this is
kind
so
of
much
things.
Worse.
Yeah.
Castiel goes to reveal that Lucifer has sent his demons to deliver to Famine the souls of those infected so he can devour them.
Yeah.
The demons are caring for him to ensure that he will be ready to march across the land. Dean realizes it was Lester, the Twinkie guy's, Finch's soul in the briefcase.
Yes.
The damage done at the restaurant, we now see flies gathering on corpses. Famine looks up as the briefcase demon arrives and explains that Sam Winchester was at the hospital. They fought, and he managed to grab Sam's motel key.
Yeah.
Famine says, yes, that's good, but
where's that soul?
where's
at?
that fucking soul? The one who loves the cream cakes so much. Great, like, unnecessary line, but it's like, yes, the Famine wouldn't know that it's a Twinkie. And also, it would sound hilarious coming out of his mouth. Where's the Twinkie, man?
Where's my Twinkie boy?
Yeah, I think it makes more sense. It's scarier to... That's a very different thing. It makes more sense for him to say something like that. It's a very small thing, but it's like what you get with Ben Edlund.
But it's also that thing of like a villain is always scarier when they're like slightly
disconnected from
I was gonna
reality.
say sophisticated.
Oh, sure.
You know, like there's always that like just juxtapositions are like a big thing in any sort of drama or comedy or whatever. And so to have someone slightly sophisticated, like the idea of like, I would never sully myself with a Twinkie, but a cream cake?
Sure.
Yes. Should the mood strike me?
Yes.
I'll indulge in a cream cake. I like that.
Love me a cream cake.
Easy.
Sometimes not even a cream cake.
I'm not really a cake guy, but okay.
Glad we both went there. Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, listen. After I said that Dean fingered the ketchup. I'm really sorry, guys.
But Famine shouts that he's hungry now when we find out that the demon's suitcase got taken.
Yeah.
And pulls the demon's soul out of its vessel and consumes it.
Yeah.
At the motel, the brothers wonder how they can stop Famine. Castiel asks how they stopped war, and Dean remembers that they took War's ring and forced him to flee. I do like the moment where Castiel's just like eating this burger, and he's like, "Yeah, but how do you? How'd you do that one?"
Yeah,
it's very casual, and I like it a lot.
I mean, we're getting more and more of like fun Castiel, or like Castiel as a person.
Human, or more human.
Castiel always fun.
Castiel confirms that Famine also has a ring as he continues eating. In the bathroom, Sam is breaking into sweats and breathing rapidly, struggling to keep control of himself.
And he kind of pokes his head out and he goes, "Dean, you got to go without me. I think I'm being affected by Famine." And
he does a good job, actually.
Yeah, I agree. And then Dean is like, "What? Like, what are you hungry for?" And he's like, And Dean goes like, God damn it.
You fucking junkie.
Jesus. I actually think Jensen plays it well because Dean has two reactions, basically, and I think you can read them both.
Yeah.
And one is like, for fuck's sake, Sam, I thought we were through this. And also like, a fucking course it is, and it's not your fault. It's fucking Famine.
Yeah.
And I think he actually does a good job of playing that because he's like, all right, fine. And Sam's like, you got to lock me down.
Yeah.
And so they handcuff him to the sink and then also close the bathroom, slide a like armoire thing in front of it.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
And implores Castiel to teleport Sam away, but they can't do that anyway. That's why they chain him up.
Yeah, because Cass says like he's already infected. The hunger would just
matter.
follow. Like it's not about proximity to Famine. It's about the fact that it's already taken him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then Dean and Castiel leave.
Yeah.
At the hospital, Dean finds Corman's assistant, Marty, who gives them the news.
It's the medical examiner, Marty.
Yeah.
He's changing.
Dr. Corman, after 20 years of sobriety, went home that morning and drank himself to death.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Corman.
He left a note. It just says, lock up when you're done.
Yeah. Oh, he means like in life.
Yeah.
God, he's a cool guy.
Lock the door if you're coming in.
Whoa! God, it was him the whole time.
You're the corpse now, dog.
Whoa! Oh my God, yesterday during golf?
Yeah.
You're the man now, ball.
So funny.
Very good. Castiel
Not funny to anyone listening to this.
Very
all
funny to
all that
us.
happened there is you just said you're the man now, ball.
But you loved it.
Yeah, it was funny for me.
Castiel confirms that Famine is the culprit and that Corman's soul is still in his body.
Yeah.
Dean figures they can use it as bait and follow the demons back to Famine.
Yeah.
As Dean stinks at the hospital in the Impala, Castiel teleports in with another bag of hamburgers and continues to eat, giddy with happiness. He wonders why Dean is unaffected by hunger while everyone else in town has fallen prey to famine. Dean reasons that he gets everything he wants when he wants it, so he hungers for nothing. Mustard mayo, y'all. Secretary saying, y'all. Oh. Sandwich sluts. So much aggressive. 1, 2, 3, go.
It's the supernatural sandwich segment. In this scene, Cass mentions that he's eaten somewhere in the low hundreds of burgers since he started eating.
Okay.
So for today's sandwich segment, my question is, what kind of sandwich or burger or something that falls under this umbrella of food could you not eat literally hundreds of, but what's a thing that you would eat too much of, or you'd eat like I'd order like 2 of those where normally I'd only order 1, or what would you like kind of gorge on in the sandwich realm?
Ooh. Interesting. When I go to like McDonald's, I typically order like 2 double cheeseburgers. I'm not going to get 2 like of the like full burgers. I always get 2 of those.
Right.
Sometimes I'll fuck up and order 1 McChicken because I think that it's a good idea, and it's never good. It's just always dry and shitty.
Yeah.
But a thing that I could eat like too much of, like chicken wings is a thing that I can eat forever.
Not a sandwich.
I know. I'm trying to think of things that I could eat too much of that is food. I can't really eat a ton of sandwiches. Like the most I ever do is 2, and that's like way more than I need.
Yeah, that's the most I've done.
Sometimes maybe like the little like sliders at like a wedding or something like that.
Do you know what gets away from me? Is like breakfast sandwiches.
Okay, so do you want to talk about the other day?
No, I don't.
When you said you didn't eat anything?
I hadn't eaten anything.
You went to me and you went, I'm shaking. I haven't eaten anything today. And then I asked you what you ate.
And I had only had
2 handfuls of M&Ms.
2 sausage McGriddles.
And it was noon. 2 coffees.
And it had been 2.5 hours since I ate.
So yeah, that's believable.
No, but like things like that, like the chicken McGriddle or like a McMuffin or something like that, those small sandwiches, I always order too many of.
Sure.
Like I'll pull up and just be like, I'll get 4 sausage and I'll be like, they're small, and then I'll be like through the 3rd one, I'll be like, why did I do this?
But you ordered 4,
so I eat them because I'm not wasteful. But like that happens a lot to me. But also the McRib. If
I've never had one.
If the McRib comes to town, I don't just go like 1 McRib, please. I get like 3 at a time.
I've never had one.
Really?
And yeah, I've never had a McRib.
Oh man.
I did hear the other day.
I mean, it's basically just for the barbecue sauce and pickles.
Sure,
but
well, yeah. Have you listened to that episode?
Yes. Yeah. Because
on This Is Rad, I think it was.
It is on This Is Rad. Yeah, where they talked about the reason that it's not even like seasonal. It doesn't.
Yes.
It's not like every June is McRib time. Is that they basically just wait for a specific price point
of pork.
And if pork ever dips below that, McDonald's buys as much pork as they can, and then the McRib exists for as long as they have that.
Yes.
And that's it. That
Crazy.
Is their metric for making the McRib.
Insane.
The price of pork has to dip, which is funny because I don't know that I would have expected pork to be that much more expensive than chicken or beef.
Yeah,
especially in Canada where we have a higher, like McDonald's is actually better in Canada because we have like a higher food standard.
Yeah.
Than in the States. It surprises me up here that there's that much of a difference.
Yeah, especially because when I feel like I look at pork.
I actually would have thought chicken would be more expensive.
When I look at pork, I always see that the price looks always cheaper than beef up here, at least.
Certainly than beef, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's not the case in like the U.S., but
yeah, no, probably not. And it's probably that McDonald's is looking for a U.S. pork price. Yeah. They're not like doing it by region. It's not like, God damn it, France got the McRib. Like, like they're not doing it like that. So
yeah.
But it just a McRib. If Famine came to town and the McRib was on, I'd be the first corpse in that in that coroner's office.
He gorged himself with McRibs, and I get it.
Yeah, and there's all these Enochian markings on his heart. They say that he was destined for the McRib.
Yeah, that was actually the ultimate
that was
union.
his true love. Yeah.
What do you think the like most sandwiches you've ever eaten is? At one sitting.
I once had, like when you go to like a conference or a meeting or something and they get like sandwiches for the room and it's always like half sandwiches.
Yeah.
The diagonal cut or whatever. I once had the equivalent of 5 sandwiches. Like big, like cold cut like, things. But like, because I was just, I'd eat one and someone was talking and then I'd like have a little drink and I'd be like, no, I'll get another and I'd get another. And I did that like 11 times.
Wow.
So it was like 5.5 sandwiches probably in like an hour.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
When I was 13, I'm really pushing the sandwich segment thing here. I don't know that I actually believe this or not, but when I was 13, I was working at a summer camp, and me and a bunch of the other we were like the counselors in training because we were young, right? Couldn't be trusted, to run things. We would do like a barbecue at the end of every couple of weeks, and we'd like make way too much. And so we would have like hot dog eating contests and that.
Of course.
And I won. I ate 14 hot dogs with bun and condiments in 40 minutes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, those are rookie numbers for like competitive eating, but
totally. But for a normal human,
I mean,
yeah. When I was 13, I did not look like this.
Yeah,
I looked like this because I did shit like that.
I still love that story about your friend and the double downs.
Oh yeah. We tried to kill a friend of mine with double downs one time. Yeah, well, that's tied into this. Yeah, this friend, he was like a long distance runner. He like ran like competitively for Laurier and stuff like that. But he would only eat fast food. One time he said he had a salad before a race, and it was his worst race, and he swore off healthy food. Like,
that's insane.
I've barely even seen him eat a vegetable.
Crazy.
But he eats fast food nonstop. When the double down came out, we were like, do we think Brent can handle
a double down?
And we all pooled our money together, and he was like 8 or 9 double downs in.
Crazy.
And he was going strong, and we ran out of money before he ran out of eating.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go.
I love that story.
That's the Supernatural sandwich segment.
Mustard mayo, y'all.
Time for sandwich segment, y'all.
Oh.
This is for all my sandwich sluts out there.
So aggressive.
Hit him.
1, 2, 3, go.
I hate that it goes into this like a producer drop or something. I don't even know what it is.
Jason Derulo.
A thing that I really like is that's popular on TikTok is like, what if there was producer drops in like other types of music?
Oh, that's funny. Like in country or
something. Like classic music, classical.
Beethoven.
Yeah, I love that shit. But yeah, so Castiel wonders how Dean is unaffected by it. And Dean reasons that he gets everything he wants, so he has no hunger for anything. Castiel asks if that means he's just well-adjusted, and he's like, God, no, just well-fed.
Ooh.
God, it's hot.
I wish I was well-fed.
Yeah, by Dean.
Yeah.
Just then, they spot a man coming out of the hospital with a briefcase and climb into an Escalade, and they tail it.
Yeah.
At the motel, Sam is in the throes of his craving and struggling to break free of the handcuffs Dean used to secure him to the bathroom sink. He hears the motel door open and the wardrobe blocking the bathroom being moved.
Yes.
He shakily calls out to the guys that he doesn't think whatever they've done has worked. He is amazed to see that 2 demons enter the bathroom. One a female demon says that they have orders to deliver him alive, but she bets that they can break off a few pieces.
So interesting. When this door opened and we meet these demons, my wife went, "Oh, that's so-and-so."
Oh my God.
She worked with the female demon on production of The Evil Dead in Vancouver years ago.
Cute.
So she's like, "Oh, yeah, I know her."
You're like, get ready.
Well, yeah.
And most...
Yeah, she's about to live the dream.
I mean, yeah. Break off a little piece, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
break me off a piece of that demon neck.
Oh, I thought you meant of Sam, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's what she was referring to. But,
Oh, I meant the other, like Sam's breaking off a piece of
yeah.
demon neck.
That's one of my favorite Office episodes is when he's trying to remember what the like Kit Kat bar how the song ends, and the whole thing he's like fancy feast and
break
like
me off a piece of that fancy feast.
it's one of the best stupid things in there. I love it. But yeah, she motions for the male demon to take off the handcuffs. Just as he breaks them, Sam punches him and sends him flying backwards across the room into the tub.
Yeah, he grabs the female demon and like bites her.
Yeah.
Starts like,
Well, he stabs her in the neck with
Yes.
a shard of glass.
yeah.
And then starts drinking her blood.
sucking the blood, and the other demon kind of like is getting up, comes to go at him, and Sam turns around, bloody face, and fucking does his...
Yeah.
I love, like... It's a thing that happens in a lot of things where it's like the first few times we see a power, we need to see it like slow.
Yeah.
So we understand the power.
Yeah.
But now it's like quick turnaround. He just fucking has
Well-
it. And it makes me think of like Storm in the X-Men movies. The first 2
Sure.
movies, it was like, it took her like 3 seconds or whatever to charge up. You'd have to see the eyes first.
Yeah.
You'd have to see clouds roll in. You'd have to see all this stuff happen before she could do anything. And by the time you get to X-Men 3, she's just like throwing lightning at people. And it's
Yeah.
like, I kind of dig. It's like, we get it.
Yeah.
And I like that for Sammy, like, it also shows that, like, even though he's been off it, there is, like, a danger of how quick Sam can go back to full power.
Yeah.
Like, one demon, he suck a little blood out of her neck, and he's right away, he's just like, and he's fucking taking out these
Some have
guys.
said that he may have had it in him the whole time.
Oh, my God.
When the other demons attack Sam from behind, he uses the demon fuel power to send him across the room again and growls at him to wait his turn, which is like
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Look, it's the summer of Sam, baby.
Yeah, Summer of Sam. A thing that only means this.
Yeah, it only just means sexual desire.
Sam Winchester.
That's right. Dean and Castiel follow the demon to the restaurant and note the others at the entrance. Dean manages to get Castiel preoccupied with the now empty hamburger wrappers to again go over the plan.
Yeah, and he's like, and Cass is like, "I'll take the knife. I'll go in. I'll cut off the ring. We'll get out of here."
Yeah.
And Dean's like, "Great." Like the plan is like, Dean is like, "I'll keep the car running."
Yes, exactly.
That's the plan.
Dean's pretty dubious of the plan, but then after Castiel teleports away and doesn't respond within 10 seconds, which is like a long time for, it's like if you're going to appear at the place that you need to be,
Do the thing and
do the
teleport
thing.
out.
You shouldn't take long, right?
Yeah.
So 10 seconds is long.
Yeah, so Dean's like, I don't like this.
But Dean enters the restaurant, and what does he find? But Castiel eating raw meat.
A thing that objectively looks tasty.
Did you see this and feel like it looked tasty?
No.
Read.
So,
Here's an interesting fact. Because Misha Collins is a vegan, the raw meat that Castiel is devouring in the diner with Famine was made specifically for him. Instead of actual cooked meat made to look raw, it was what Misha describes as a disgusting concoction of soy, ketchup, and tomato sauce, amongst other things. So you not only want when you see real beef, but the concept of just raw meat is enough for you to be like, num num. Put in my tum tum.
Well, yeah, and I mean, here's the other piece that they didn't talk about is how they got all that ketchup in there, is they had to get Dean to.
Jesus Christ. Wow. The demon then finds Dean, capture him, and drag and restrain him before Famine.
Yeah.
Castiel has dropped the knife and is too busy eating to retrieve it.
Yeah, and it's Famine says something like, "You're the one that sent your dog in. I just threw a mistake." He's like, "I haven't done anything to him."
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
Famine says he's happy to be in America, where everyone wants more all the time. But they are still starving because hunger comes from the soul, not just from the body.
I do like the idea, and this is, it's not consistent in Supernatural, but this is a good moment of like, why is all of this in America?
Yeah.
Like the Holy Land is in the Middle East. Like, why is the end times happening in the States? And I do like the idea that this show is like a little indictment of like, where else would hell begin?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, there's something I kind of love about that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the reason is it's a show set in America. They have a car. They can't fly around the world. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, there's all of those kind of logistical things. But I do like these little bits of like, you guys laid the perfect groundwork for it. Like, this place, this is exactly where we can make the apocalypse happen.
Yeah, it's halfway to hell.
Way to go, you quote unquote Bible thumpers.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like that as a conceit.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
I think it makes a lot of sense.
And I think they're also smart not to like
Dig into that.
lean too far in, but just every once in a while to just have a little hint like that and be like, all right, I get it.
Yeah,
You know?
100%. Dean defiantly points out that he's not affected. Famine finds it curious that Dean can walk in his presence untouched and rolls close to him and presses his hand against Dean's chest, which causes him some pain. Famine notes that there's a deep, dark nothing inside of Dean and he can't fill. He can feel how broken and defeated Dean is, knowing that he can't win. Yet he continues to go through the motions. He's not hungry because inside he's already dead.
Which is a great line, great monologue, and great moment. I don't really know what that means.
In terms
In
of
this context where it's like, I mean, they could probably just make him like burger hungry.
Yeah.
Dean does eat.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
he's a regular jughead.
The
Come
family's
on.
just like, no, I couldn't. Your soul's too bleak, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, is it?
Yeah. No, we just needed one person to
like
still be
make
okay.
him too angry, or
Yeah.
like.
I mean, he is getting a little bit of those things, but
But you know what I mean? Like everyone else is
Yeah.
being consumed by these. It's a good moment, but it's a little bit like, I don't know that we've really earned that Dean is impervious to famine. You know?
yes. I liked the previous version of it when he's talking with Castiel in the car. I'm like, that's more believable.
That's closer to it. I still don't buy it. Like when we're talking on the scale of the 4 Horsemen, it's like he can find a way to get to you.
Yeah.
But I agree. That argument makes more sense where he's like, I am satisfied.
Yeah.
I don't hunger for things because when I want them, I get them.
Yeah.
Like there is no
desire.
I'm not denied
Yes.
things, you know?
Yes, I'm not holding back anything that I want. And all the people that we've seen before had been.
Yeah. You're right. That is a stronger version for maybe why, at the very least, Dean should be affected less.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, so Famine notes that he's basically broken inside. But he's like, how can you feel broken and defeated? Dean is knowing that he can't win. And this is when Sam arrives.
Yeah. Listen, it's the summer of Sam, baby.
Right?
Sam shows up with a big fucking blood-stained mouth. And Dean looks over and he's kind of got like a, oh, Sammy sort of thing. And then Sam just fucking all of the demons in the room.
Yeah.
6 or 7 or whatever of them. And he exorcises all of them. Well, he rips them out of their hosts.
Yes.
But Sam exercises restraint here and says like he won't kill them. He's not doing whatever.
Yeah.
And Famine goes, fine, I'll take them, and like absorbs them in. And, and he's like, you have no power here, or whatever.
The demon. Famine tells the demons to stop. No one lays a finger on his sweet little boy.
Yeah. I really like this guy playing Famine.
He's
He plays
really
it so
good.
well, yeah.
Famine says that he can see that Sam enjoyed the snack that he sent. Sam is clearly confused, as he's assumed that it was Lucifer that sent the demons to the motel to get him.
Yes.
Famine assures Sam that he'll never die from drinking too much blood. He is just as Satan wants him.
Yeah, which is also a pretty fucked up thing to say. But he's like, you have no power here, whatever. And then Sam has this kind of like, I can't control you, but I can control them
inside of you.
And all of those demon souls that Famine has been eating, including the 8 that he just had like in the room, Sam like explodes them all out of Famine and kills him. I guess you can't kill Famine in the way you can't kill war, but he sure like ends whatever's happening. In the way that when they cut off War's finger, all of those illusions in that town ended. When they do this, the hunger stops in this place.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good moment for Sammy though too, because like, he has his line he won't cross, and he saves the day even though he's had the demon blood again or whatever. But you can see in Dean's eyes, he's like, we're fucking back to this bullshit.
Yeah. Castiel finally snaps out of his spell while Dean stares at his brother in shock. Later, Dean and Castiel have locked Sam up back in Bobby's panic room.
They gotta detox him again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, we hear all the same stuff that we heard last time.
Begging for help.
Cass is like, like, that's not your brother in there right now.
Yeah.
And Dean's like, whatever, I can't. I just gotta get out of here.
Yeah. Wincing as he takes a gulp from a liquor bottle and listens to Sam's cries.
Yeah.
Castiel tries to assure Dean and Sam that he will be okay once he gets it out of his system. A forlorn Dean turns and wanders outside. He looks up to heaven and tearfully begs for help.
Yeah.
It's a good moment, too.
It's a great moment. But again, one of these things where it's like, maybe the show hasn't fully figured out how these pieces work. Because when he did that, I was like, they're going to know where you are. I was like, don't pray.
I know.
Don't pray. They're going to fucking find you.
I know. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. What did you think of this episode?
Well, I really like it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I know we've had a criticism of a few episodes where they start one way and then veer another, and it felt like they were like disjointed parts of the episode.
Yeah, it's funny. By the end, I was just like, "Oh yeah, Cupid was in this." I
mean, and it is a little disjointed, but I do like the idea of we get a little bit of expansion of the sort of angel lore.
Yeah.
That there's these other kinds of angels. I like that we get a sort of expanded idea of famine, that it's the things we hunger for, not specifically like necessarily like a nutritional satiation or things like that. That it's like, it's about desire more vaguely.
What do you think? Is it the, your phone's also recording everything you're saying. Your watch, sorry.
It always is. That's how I keep. I submit it to court.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it the McRib? What do you think the thing is? If Famine showed up here, what's the thing?
What, for us?
For you?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my God, are you a Dean? You're actually impervious?
Yeah.
You get everything you want and you're dead inside it too?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know.
You're gonna find me buried under a mountain of comic books.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that that's true for you though. You don't even read the ones you get.
It's not about that.
It is
for you.
I feel like I need to liberate them from you.
No, I'm just. Look, here's the problem. I have two things that I'm waiting for. One is dividers. Two is I need to get rid of that.
I couldn't possibly read them without dividers. I'm not saying put them away. I'm saying read them.
I will. I just got stuff going on.
Oh, yeah. Is that going to clear up?
Yeah.
Yeah?
In a few years.
Yeah.
When I'm dead.
Yeah, see, I mean, I do think there would be some sort of like, it's a accumulation thing.
He would show up and he'd be like, "Oh, somebody already got to him."
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, did I already come by here?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm like, hit me with it more though.
Yeah, I don't know what mine would be. Mine might just still be food.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let us know on the Angel Radio.
No, I like this episode though. I like the depiction of famine.
Yeah.
I think that's really strong. I think that actor does a really
Such
good
a
job.
good job. Love Cupid.
I think Cupid is great, even though he's like almost in a different episode.
Yes.
You know, but I think that's good. I think the three main performances in here are extremely solid. Cass, with that sort of distracted, being affected by famine thing. Sam, you know, getting a little bit of Demon Boy Sam back in there. And then obviously Dean, kind of broken, sad, hopeless Dean. He does a very good job of all of that.
Yeah.
I love the effects. This is a gruesome episode.
Yeah.
The way that people are like tearing into each other or just merciless, or, you know, the guy... When Dean shows up in that restaurant, the guy's just fully leaned into the fryer.
Oh,
like his
God,
whole
it's
upper
so
body
awful.
is just in the fryer. This is an upsetting episode.
Yes.
But in like a good way, where it's like, yeah, it's the apocalypse. It's not good.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not just like, oh, people are hungry. It's like really horrible.
Yeah.
I think they do a great job of this.
Visceral.
I really like this one. I don't think it's perfect, but it's solid. I'd give this 4 deep fryer hands.
Blah. Oh God. Yeah, I mean, I think that the Horsemen have been so good so far in general. I think they do a really, really good job encompassing them and making them feel like big deals, but maybe not like the biggest deals. Like we're still dealing with Lucifer, so they're a nice like just underneath that, which I think is great.
Right.
I think that the effects are awful and hard to watch.
Yes.
I had to really like look for the like mistakes so that I wouldn't be upset.
Right.
Like that was the thing where I was just like, okay, like
yeah, the effects are awful in that they are upsetting.
Yes.
Not that they are poorly executed.
No, but I did have to like when they were eating each other, I had to be like, okay, well they bit there, so that should be off of their body, and it's not. Okay, they're not actually eating each other.
Oh, I see.
Because it was so hard for me to watch.
I mean, my wife was definitely kind of like, turning away.
I have an extremely weak stomach, and so like anything.
Really?
Oh yeah. I can't handle gore in any sort of way. I can't handle like. No surprise there. Regis went to go eat himself.
I would easily.
Whatever.
Life's meaningless. Consume of the flesh.
Never mind. Hey, he's unaffected. I think that it's super effective. The performances are all really good. It is a little bit disjointed, but not in a way that like it's upsetting. It's kind of like
right.
You're just like, wow, how long was this episode? Like it feels like a lot happened.
Yeah.
But that's not bad. Like it never feels long until you're at the end of it. You're like, geez,
Sure.
all that happened, right? Like it does zoom past.
Right.
And I like all the characters. Even the coroner is really fun. Like,
yeah, he is good.
There's some maybe some suspect like acting, but he was a drunk, so who cares?
Yeah, he was fine.
Yeah.
I think it's just like weird that he's like, bunch of sensitive evidence in here. I'll be back in the morning.
Yes. But yeah, he's a drunk. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I am gonna give this 4.25 stomachfuls of each other.
Oh hell yeah! Oh my god, I respect you so hard right
now. Well, those were our reviews. But before we head out, we've got a note from a fellow hunter.
Yeah, nice.
Another one from Big Sis 1-on-1.
Oh, okay.
Just finished listening to the sandwich segment on this week's episode and
welcome.
had to laugh. Not only was Louisiana the only place I've seen bag milk, they also have quite an interesting mayo combo.
Oh, this
Get
is
ready.
after last week's mayo peanut butter abominations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Okay.
Half of a canned pear with a scoop of mayo in the center, devil egg style, and a maraschino cherry on top.
Oh, God.
Sprinkled with cheese.
What the fuck?
It is not a sandwich, but figured it was worth sharing. Here's the recipe
What
for proof.
the fuck? Good Lord. God has truly forsaken your country.
I get it now.
Yeah, I know why the apocalypse is in America.
Absolutely love this show and have even gone back re-listened a few times
Oh, that's awesome.
on my down days. Thank you guys for being you, from Donna. And then a little PS, which is, glad my email address made y'all giggle last time. It's my first ever email address from when the internet became a thing, when I was barely a teenager. I'm the oldest of three sisters, big sis.
Sure.
And since my parents both worked, I spent a lot of one-on-one time with my sisters, even into my married life. So
I do feel like
big sis one-on-one.
I do feel like this is a thing that younger generations probably don't contend with, is that when
we had to figure out how to make an email.
but like when the internet and like free email accounts and stuff like that were a thing, like Hotmail and stuff like that, all of us just went like, I'm unique. What am I into? We made like insane things we could. And then like years later, we had to be like, I just need to get my name at Gmail or whatever.
Yes.
Which I think is probably the default now. But like my first email address was Ninja Frenchie.
Oh, yeah.
Because I did karate and
you were
I'm
French. Yeah.
And then
I could see through it.
it was, I was that at Hotmail or whatever.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Mine was Merch Kid.
Oh, because you were like in the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of us did that. We were like, and I will always be this.
Yes.
And it was like, it was like 2 years later, we were like, I can't give this out.
I can't put this on my resume.
Yeah. Ninja Frenchie, I would like a job.
Yeah. I won't say what it is, but Kyle Clark has a really funny one that that is an @Yahoo, which I love even more. It's a thing that every time I have to email him or something, it makes me smile.
That's very funny.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Donna / Big Sis one-on-one. It's a normal thing.
Yeah, it's a normal thing that
I haven't used in a search.
Yeah, that is not an autocomplete.
When I write B into Google.
It only needs the B.
Yeah. But if you want to continue chats about the sandwich segments, weird fucking mayo foods from your or places of origin.
Lord. Yeah, tell us how God has forsaken you.
What is wrong with your country? Let us know.
Yeah, and start with the big stuff like mayo.
Yeah, I mean, what other things could there be? But you can continue that chat on our Discord.
That's right. If you go to patreon.com/ghostfacers for only $1 a month, you get access to Angel Radio, our community Discord server. We're having a fun time chatting about all sorts of random stuff. I think people are getting to know each other and we're making friends, and we all love Supernatural and we're having a good time there, and it helps to support us.
That's right. If you want to continue to support us, or maybe you want to send us a note like Donna did.
Yeah, or any of you medical examiners who leave your workplace just open to anyone who wants it.
Yeah, let us know how cavalier you are with your profession.
Yeah. What, the fucking corpse is going to walk out?
I mean... you can send us an email to ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us through our various social media platforms.
Yeah, we're at GhostfacersPod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Also, don't forget to subscribe to us on whatever platform that you get your podcast. And while you're there, why don't you give us a 5-star review? Those will really help us out. If it's not on Apple Podcasts or like Facebook or something where we'll get a notification, just take a screenshot and put it to one of the places that we get those notifications on, like our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And while you're there, while you're on Apple or Spotify or wherever, go check out Stand Up North, Shredded and Dead. It's an album of Yukon comedians that was recorded here in Whitehorse, Yukon. Yours truly has a couple of tracks on there.
Keep him the most listened to tracks.
The whole thing is awesome, and it's a lot of great comedians, and it's good to support.
Also, the more you listen, the more money he gets.
Yeah, so keep listening, baby.
Yeah, but if you want to give both of us money, why don't you buy some of our merch?
Buy our merch.
At ghostfacerspodcaststore.com.
I think we need a Summer of Sam shirt.
Oh, my God. I mean, yeah, fuck. Summer of 69, Sam.
Absolute 69.
Summer of Sam.
Yeah, we're full of each other.
Yeah, summer of absolute 69, summer of Sam.
Yeah, nothing clunky about that.
Works great.
We just instead of the man, the path of destruction with the arrows, one is Summer of Sam and one is Summer of absolute 69 with arrows.
Either way, we're having a great time.
Yeah. So anyway, Ghostfacers Podcast Store.
Yes.
.com.
That's right. Also, we've talked about it a few times here. It's just we make references to another podcast we have.
That's right. The Dr. DC Podcast. If you like how we talk about Supernatural over here, you might like how we talk about DC Comics and superheroes over there.
Supernatural over there.
We also talk about Supernatural over there. These are slowly becoming one.
One amalgamation.
One twin is absorbing the other.
Oh my God. Much like that episode of Supernatural that almost got made.
And an episode of Grey's Anatomy that I watched last night.
Really?
Yeah. A guy had a full-on absorbed twin.
Fucked up.
Yeah. Fetus in fetu. But yeah, go check out Dr. DC Podcast. You don't need to know anything about superheroes. It's just us being like this, but with a slightly different topic.
And you'll walk away with some knowledge.
Maybe.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. At the very least, we'll probably talk about ketchup squirt.
Jesus Christ. Put 2 fingers in and say goodbye, bitch.
Jerk off.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.